So the book I'd like to show today is Fabiano Caruana by New in Chess. Is amazing story and his most instructive chess games. The book has about 61 games. It's divided in these chapters. If I can open the book at the right page, which generally never happens. No, not the right page. Here we go. In these 12 chapters, there is an index of openings and the index of names. The index of openings is particularly interesting because grandmasters like Caruana are kind of universal, so he plays many different openings. So this can be interesting for me because I wanted to learn about the Sicilian, so I will watch the games he played pro or against the Sicilian. Now, the question is, why did you take a review or did you make a review of a book from 2018 when Caruana was in fact at his top probably, but in reality also now is the number 2 in the world. The book has also many pictures. Well, the question is answered simply by the following thing. All books are generally on offer and they cost half of a half or they throw them at you, and so that's what I like, right? That I can read a great book, watch some games without paying a fortune. You pay just $10 and you get all these games annotated well. So what do you want more? Well, you want to see some of the games inside. Here we go. So Caruana became Grandmaster at 14. He started to take lessons by one of the legendary coaches, Pandolfini, when he was 5, so probably in New York. The game we are going to watch today is game 4 of this book, Sicilian Defense. Sandor Farago was white, his rating was 2262. Fabiano Caruana was black and his rating was 2255. So e4, c5, knight f3, knight c6, d4, c takes d4, knight takes d4, knight f6, knight c3, e5. This is for example, obviously I know this is all theory, but when I have to play the opening, I sometimes don't like to push it like this because I leave immediately an outpost for white. So I try something like this to keep it, but I understand that this also is a good move. So what can you do? It's life. Unfortunately, we create weaknesses with our pawn moves, and sometimes we can't stop the opponent from owning a certain outpost. Knight db5, d6, a4, bishop e7, bishop e2, castle, g4, a6, I expected that to be played a little before, knight a3, knight d4, and here we see that black is getting his outpost, g5, knight e8, and h4. Well, oops, yeah. It seems white is clearly attacking very hard on the king side. Let's see what the Gem Kalinin says about this position. He says white has played too adventurously with 3 pawn breaks, which is b5, d5 and f5. Fabiano opens the position and gets into the rear of the enemy camp. So let's see what happens. Wow, interesting. b5, and here there is an exclamation point. A takes b, a takes b, bishop takes b5, knight takes b5, and knight c takes b5. Bishop b7, knight c3, and now we see the second pawn break that Kalinin is speaking about, f5, g takes f6, this is an en passant for those who don't know it, knight takes f6, but the file now is open, so it's good, rook g1, d5. So why this is interesting, this d5? Because, as you can see, the enemy king is in the center. White still didn't develop this side. There is this big hole on this side. So obviously black is taking advantage of the enemy king in the center and attacking through there. This honestly is a type of game that you can see in many collections where the future champion or champion destroys the opponent because the opponent left for too long the king in the center. Okay, so that's why I find it interesting, because it seems it's a recurrent pattern. E takes d5, bishop c5, so two are already looming on f2, bishop e3, bishop takes e3, f takes e3, let's not forget this, practically which is on this line, knight takes d5, it seemed logical, okay, queen g4, because otherwise it was a big problem there, queen e7, knight takes d5, bishop takes d5, queen g5, queen c7, and castle on the queen side. And here Kalinin writes, the white king is finally evacuated from the center, but goes from the frying pan into the fire. Bishop e4, attacking c2. Now, if we sacrifice this, he can give checkmate. Rook d2, g6, and queen g4. Now, in this position, try to guess what you would play if you were black. So, pause the video and try to guess what would you play if you were black, okay? Here is the great move that Caruana found, queen c4, because if it takes, it's checkmate. An elegant development of the attack, the black queen gets into a2, okay. h5, rook takes a3, b takes a3, queen a2, rook h2, and obviously at this point what you want to do is to block that king from escaping. How do you do that? Well, obviously you do it like this, because now the next move is a checkmate. And here Kalinin says Fabiano conducted the attack very energetically. So please let me know if you like this book. If you want to see more games, I will definitely be able to show them. Leave a request in the comments.